my ship, when I say we, were about to pull out of port, either in Dubai in the UAE or on the other side in Fujairah in the UAE. I don't remember specifically where we were, and the ship was told to stop, right? Just don't go anywhere. We have additional tasking for you. And so we waited, and then some interesting looking boats showed up and were loaded onto the ship. And then 60 SEALs came aboard. And then we headed out, and our mission was going to be to take down an Al-Qaeda ship. And, the word was it was going to be very highly kinetic, which is a euphemism for, bloody. And so I talked to the SEALs that came on board, and their plan was to assault this ship by boat. He said, "Well, let me take you flying. Let me take you flying and see if our skill set as a team of aviators and crew and everybody that's part of this shipboard aviation operation, see if we can be useful to you." So I took them out flying. And I said, yes, this is the capability that we want. We have, I would say that the way we flew is a particular community as a subset of naval aviation. The work that we did was, well, it's the coolest thing ever, is what it was. Like, we had a really unique way of flying that was that leveraged sideward and backward flight really to almost like skidding out on a bike. So we could stop shorter than other assets and get on a very specific spot over a ship very, very quickly and get in and out in a second. And so demonstrated that capability, and we could come in from any angle, right, and still accomplish that. So I demonstrated that to the decision makers on the SEAL team, and like, yeah, we want to do this assault with you. So for the next 10 days, our team worked with the SEALs all night, every night, to kind of practice this insertion extraction that we were going to do for this Al Qaeda ship in the coming days. And I was feeling, I'd say we were all feeling really, really confident in that ability. So much so that when I was departing one US ship and heading to a German ship, I remember that US ship over the radio was complaining, uh, man, it's like 3 in the morning. Are we going to wrap this thing up? And I remember betting them. I remember like saying, oh, we're going to be back to drop off whatever we had to drop off to you in 30 minutes or less, and then you can wrap up. And they looked at where the other ships were in the area. I'm sorry, the story is getting convoluted. Basically, they determined that's impossible, right? What you're saying you can do is impossible. And I said, oh, we're going to do it. So I headed out to look for this German ship, which didn't have a TACAN, which meant it was really, really hard for us to find. And it's just the darkest, darkest night. It's just miserable dark. And managed to find the ship, orient to the ship. And I'm feeling off. I'm not feeling like something isn't right about my orientation on the ship. Something's not looking right. Something's not feeling right. And I did something that's not productive that I do in times like that, which is I sound very, very calm. I sound calmer than I feel. And in those environments, it's not a productive way of showing up, because the rest of the crew probably needed to sense my urgency so they could step up. But instead, what they were getting is ship in sight, rolling final. And then I looked in the flight deck of this German ship, it's the Brandenburg, I remember. The flight deck of this German ship should have been below me, and it was above me. And I said to my co-pilot, I'm like, what's my altitude? He said, 20 feet and descending. 20 feet off the water. And I had no sense of that. And so I just, yanked in a handful of collective and turned hard from the ship just to get us away from the water and the ship, because I was about to either crash into the back of a ship that I couldn't fully orient myself to, or more likely just drive the helicopter and crew into the water. And we circled around and landed safely on the Brandenburg. The SEALs loaded up on the ship. God bless them. They were clinking. They smelled like beer and they were clinking. So German ships have alcohol on them. U.S. ships don't. But for that night, our U.S. ship did have alcohol on them, on it, thanks to the SEALs. Made it back to that cruiser that I'd made the bet with. Made it back on time. Won the bet, landed, and then we had a long conversation with the crew about, having almost all died shortly, not too long before that conversation. So that's for whatever reason the story that came to mind of operating at sea and getting some stuff done.